Hi guys, it's me Julia. I'm back today with the video I've promised you for the glugglejug tutorial. So this, I haven't glazed it. I've glazed it but I haven't fired it yet. This is the way that she's going to be. This is the one I created and I'm going to do it in Spectrum Sangria, with a little few highlights of kimchi around the fins. So we'll see what that's like because it's a new glaze to me. So we'll see. I'm slightly concerned about it, but it's going in the kiln tonight. So we shall see. So watch out for that video. It'll be kiln opening 22. So without further ado, I shall show you what I've already prepared. Over here I have some coils, I have a bridge, which is just a little slab of a little strip of clay, and a little circle, well, oval, which is another little strip of clay joined, because we're going to be using those. So I'm keeping those under plastic to keep them as moist as possible. So I have the bridge, I have made it reasonably leather hard because we want some weight supported on there. The same with the oval. It's not plastic, it's not fully leather because I need to be able to mould things onto it. So I have a spray bottle so that I can spray the coils if I give them a spray there. It will keep them moist and we'll get started. I have a slab, solid slab here. I've just made it into an oval shape. This is approximately the size of the bottom of this, maybe slightly smaller. It's probably going to be a little bit smaller than this one. But this is for, I've made it really thick so that I can make this base on here. I hope I don't pull any of the glaze off while I'm keep picking it up. And then all I've got is, this is a coaster, a little cork one that I no longer needed, so all the coasters went in my little pottery studio. I do have a twirly. It's really not a good one because it doesn't sit straight, but it helps me get around, so that's fine. Doesn't matter if you don't have one. Put it on a little base of something so you can turn it round. If I didn't have this twirler, I would just do that, rather than having it just on here and having to keep moving the base. Put it on something so that you don't have to keep touching it. So let's get started. I hope you can see. Now the first line of coil that I put on, I'm going to create a little bit of slip. So it would have helped if I had a scoring tool. Here it is, and my water. Now you can put slip on if you've got it to hand. If you don't, what I would do, I go around with a little bit of water and then I'm just actually scratching up and then I'm just kind of creating my own slip here, because this, I keep dipping in the water. I'm creating some slip on this. But if you have slip, I do have slip, but recently I've been doing this just out of not wanting to get my slip out. And then this coil I've got ready, let me see if it's the right size. Approximately, I'll give it a little roll. There. And I'm just going to score one side of that with a little water just to help this bottom one. Just get it a bit wetter. There we go. And then the rest of them are just going to be joined by smoothing. But this first one, I'm just giving it a little bit of a score just for extra protection, joining, whatever it is you want to call it. So you would go smoothing down like this with your finger. If you have a tool, you can use a tool. You can use kind of this wooden tool. They are a little bit better than, you could use a lolly stick. You can go down and smooth like that. It's probably better than my finger really, but I'm used to kind of the feel of it, especially on the outside. I like to smooth with my finger. This coil has probably gone a little hard while I was setting up. I'll have to do it from this side because I am left-handed, and so you can see as it's going round. As much as you can, try to avoid putting too much water on it because it needs to be quite firm. You don't want it to start to collapse. Right, then I'm just going to level it out a little bit. You want to smooth the inside. That's probably easier with some kind of tool on the inside. I'm just taking a little bit of that clay like this and pinching it down. I can move my water now. Just pinch it down as you go around. And then smooth it out a little bit. You can really, I'm just pushing down onto that base a little bit and giving it a bit of a, there we go. Right, and then just make sure your walls are approximately same thickness all the way around. You don't want them to be too thin at the bottom here. There. So that's your start, okay? Then we're going to build up a couple of layers. So you can do it one by one. Let me thin this out a little bit. You can do it one by one, or you can go up in twos, or if you're brave enough, in 3 layers of coil. Always when you're putting it on as well, the join was here on this one, so I'm going to put it a different side for the join, and I just pinch a little bit off, and there we go, squish it in like that. I'm going to put this little bit back, it's not big enough to go around, so I'll wait till I need that bit further up the pot. And I think I would put another layer on there before I smooth it out again. If you find your coil is getting square, just go gently and push out, roll one way and just push the other way. So roll one way and then just pull it back until it starts to round. It takes a little bit of practice. I've done quite a lot of coil and mine still go square. So my joint's here, my other joint was here, so I'm going to put a joint around here. So I'm just pinching off a little bit there. Just pinch it together. Make sure the other one's a bit pinched. So far we've got this, and now I'm going to start to smooth this one down. I'll hold the inside a little bit while I'm smoothing, just because otherwise if I'm pressing in, it might collapse in. Right, so far we've got this little kind of pot, little coil pot. Now we're going to just try and keep it even. I'm going to use this little bridge that I made. So as I said before, just a strip of clay, and it's going to support some weight because this is going to get quite heavy as it goes up. So we can slip it on if you want to, score, again try not to use too much water, scoring, and on the outside of this but if you like to use slip, feel free to put as much or as little slip on as you feel that you need. It's very plastic at the moment. This is a little firmer, but the rest is very plastic, so it's pretty pliable and pretty smoothable. So I've put this bridge in and I'm going to smooth in the edges to join it firmly. So I'm going to use my tool for that. Smooth it out a little bit. Nobody's going to see the inside, but you know, it's nice to have it smooth. There. Joined in there. So now we are going to put the circle, strip circle, whatever it is, oval, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit, make it slightly less sharp. And this is going to help form the kind of handle part. I've got dirty hands, but can you see that little bit in the middle there? That's where this is going to go. Now, no two should be the same because I just think, you know, it's something that you're creating. I've made now, I just made one last week and I made two, this one and one other one that I wasn't so happy with. So I've made 3, but I was just kind of practicing so that I could get into the swing of it for you guys. So that's going to sit on top like that. Yeah, we're going to it's going to slip it. But the reason why we dried these was we need that stability for that weight. So I'm going to gather some slip up here. If you don't have one of these tools, you can use a comb, you can use a fork, you can cut a credit card into little kind of strips. You can use jewellery wire and make a little one. I've done that before. Have I done it the right direction? Before I start building, I want to make sure, because I'm going to go up. Yeah, I think that's right. So I'm going to build up here, and then I'm going to build up here. No, I think it needs to go that way, doesn't it? Yes, that's correct. Sorry about that. Right, it's that way. Yes, it is. So that direction. It perplexes me every single time. So I'm building up in this direction and this direction. Yes, that's correct. Right. I'll just smooth that down again. If you were to want to do kind of a donut type vase, this is the similar kind of way that you could do it. So this is the direction in which we need to be. I'm just going to smooth around a little bit. Now we're at this point. And I'm going to start to press in a little bit around here, just because I want to form the shape of that base, just very gently. I'm just pressing in with my finger like this. I don't want to go too far in, but I'm just giving a guide. To where this base is going to be. And you can feel where it's working. If you press too much on that bottom coil, it'll come away, but you can kind of feel what it's doing. Look at the inside and see what's happening when you're doing that. And you can see if you get any cracks, smooth them over. You can always go back in just to make sure. Like that. And that's how you're starting to get that base shape that we have on this one. If you can see that. And then I'm going to probably push that down once it's a little less soft, and shape it out a little bit more. But at the moment we're going to be stacking weight on, so we want to just be a little bit more careful. So we'll continue with the coils. We want to go all the way around until we get to here. All the way around to about here, yeah, and then continue up one side and then up the other side. This isn't long enough. I might have to roll some more coils because I don't look like I've got many. So I roll them quite fat and then I'm just re-rolling them a little bit. I'm just doing this on an old piece of board. So I'm going round with this one to about there. Pinch a bit off. I'm going to smooth them in so he's a bit of a circle, going round and just stretch him so he's the size of the piece, and then he's not quite big enough, so I'm just gonna, don't want it to go too much thinner, but I can afford a little bit there, and I'll go the other way round to avoid his join, pinch a bit off. And then join him up. Right, now I can smooth those in. Then I'm going to start pinching towards the center. So let me start smoothing. So now I'm going to do this. See, my bridge is soft still, so I'm going to join this side and this side. I'm not going to put any water on, I'm just going to score it a little bit because I don't want to introduce any water at this point, because it's already feeling soft. So I'm just going to smooth this up to here. So it's kind of like a little basket. At the minute, you've got a front and a back and the hole there. I can see my smoothing needs to be better there. Right, so you're going to be choosing soon where the front and the back, so the head and the tail, are going to be. One will look, as you're doing it, one will just start to look more narrow than the other. I think that's what usually happens on mine. So I'm just keeping smooth, keeping even. And we're going to go in with the next one. If at any point that it starts to feel collapsing, put a hairdryer on it, fan heater or something like that around the base and firm it up a little bit, but not around this top. Just try and dry the bottom a little. And just keep smoothing in that base, and I'm pressing down a little bit now on the bottom. You could get away with a slightly thinner base, know, yours is going to be your own style. Whilst I'm here, I've got a little stamp. I'm going to actually put my little stamp on the bottom. So I've just stamped it. So it's going to be much easier to do. While I've got it off there, I'm just going to smooth that little edge. There. Run a different way. So this is where we're at. Let's get another coil. On each side. So about halfway. And I'm probably going to do another layer, another level. So there. And I could probably actually do a third level, but I'll just put that coil back for the minute. I'll just work with 2. I'll not get ahead of myself. Okay, and we're going to smooth in again. So I'm going to hold under here and smooth. That's that side. Let's do the other side. Right, smoothing down here. Compare this with this. Can you see? There. Now, this one has a little bit more roundedness to it. So what I did for that, I went in and I hold my hand in the cup, I cup the edge, and then I just push slightly out like that to give it a little bit of belly. Or you can do it with your finger if you can still get in there. It depends on the shape of the fish you want to do. You might want a skinny fish, you might want quite a fat fish. But don't make it too thin. Like this is going up, I'm going to make this rounded. Right, I've made a little bit too much at the bottom, so I'm just going to push them back in. And I'm going to go for another couple of layers. Right, so I'm going to go pinch in here, do that here. it with the third, I think. Okay, keep that little bit into there. So you can see the shape now is really, sorry, I think my camera is telling me it's getting hot. So I'm going to smooth down. If I open this back door, actually it might, I hope that doesn't change the, that's fine, the lighting too much. In here. Pinch a little. Can feel like a little thick bit there. So I'm just going to smooth that and also give him some more belly. And then smooth the outside down a bit. You don't want to get it too smooth because you're just constantly putting clay on top and making it rough again. So smooth inside this little circle. But you can see we are getting somewhere. She's looking good. So let's get another couple of rolls on. Let's see what we've got. I'll just smooth it out a little bit. It's getting a little bit out of shape there, so I'm just going to This is a little children's cooking spatula. I'm just bringing it back into shape a little bit. Right, you can just, you know, help it smooth a little bit. Right, what kind of shape have I got here? Now, I want this side kind of bellied, but I want this side a little bit flatter. So I'm just going to pat a little bit here. We've got to smooth the shape. So he's going to be straight more for the tail, and he's still rounded being the belly and the head. But this is just my take on it, you know, it can be as skinny or as fat, as tall or as short as you want. Because even if I tried to make two the same, it would be impossible. So yours will look completely different to mine, I'm sure. It'll have a similarity, but this is now starting to go off in this direction. So this is telling me I'm going with the clay. This tail is going to go up here and this head is going to go this way, because I like, you can have it straight, you can have it on an angle. So now I'm going to keep giving him a little bit of a bevel, because I quite like this one that I've got there. He's got a bit of a rounded head and I quite like that, which I haven't done on my last two, and I missed it because I don't think they looked as nice. But I don't want them to look like this. They've got bruises, you know, so just, if you go too far, just bash it back in. And then we want some more layers on here. Let's see how we're doing in a side-by-side comparison. Oopsie, sorry about that camera. So we can see, like, that's, yeah. So start smoothing in the areas that you're not going to be able to get too easy. ribbit. You can do whatever you need to do to kind of straighten it out. I'm just going to get that shape that I want. It's a little fat here. You can see some stretches as I'm just checking those out. If it's getting a little thin where you're stretching it, then put a little bit of extra clay on. So I can squeeze it in this way and have the tail like that. I can squeeze it in that way and have the tail like that. And I think I'm going to do it that way. So what I'm going to do, check my seams inside there, just to make sure everything's okay. Then I'm going to give it a bit of a score and slip just around the edges, or score and water for me. Just damp, and then I'm just going to score those edges. And then I'm going to pinch. I'm going to make sure that I've got no cracks, and I'm going to pinch just the edges together. Can you see? We're forming a tail. Then I'm going to just pinch it. Whoops. And I'm doing this, pinching up to make that kind of, let me just do that again, that kind of uneven tail that fish have. It depends whether, because this will be quite sharp, so it depends whether or not you don't have to have it like this. You can finish it any way that you want. Now I can feel there's what I am going to do is actually remove this bit when it's firmer, when I'm happy with the build. I think I'm going to give it a little bit more tail. Something like that. So he's coming in a proper curled up motion, isn't he? Kind of like those fortune fish you used to get in Christmas crackers. Or mood fish, were they? I can't remember. One of the two. As I say, I'm going to get that bit out so that it doesn't have that, but at the moment it's supporting. So now we're going to go into the head. I'm going to give it that little bit of what I did before, straighten it out. The way he's standing. I'm going to pinch in here a little bit as well because he looks a little fat here. So I'm just going to pinch. He's actually growing a little bit as I'm pinching him, so just nipping him in a little bit. Maybe give myself a little pat there. Just encourage him. Like a little, just a little kind of colouring in there. I'm just making sure it follows round. Oh, I went over here. Just so it smooths. I'm smoothing it at the back. Now I'm going to go back because he's starting to collapse a little bit at the bottom. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to work more on that base because that's getting too heavy. And what I'm going to do is put it, I'm going to get the hairdryer actually so that we can pull that back out a little bit. Warts and all here, guys. Nothing is perfect, you know, this is heavy and it's just starting to stretch a little bit onto the base. So I am going to get my hairdryer. And support it a little bit where it's starting to just get a little bit too much. The weight's getting a little bit too much for it, so just going in and supporting it. Don't want to do it too much because you don't want to affect the drying. I mean, you've only really kind of given the outside a little bit of a dry, the inside isn't dry. but you don't want to affect it unevenly drying too much, that is. Right, that's cool. Right, now she's putting her next to the other one. She's slightly shorter. I'm going to give her a mouth. You can just refine and refine as much as you want, but I'm kind of on a time limit here, really. Right, so I'm going to use this, I think. Have I got any more clay here? No. So I'm going to use what I've got. So I'm going to put some, can I get you a little higher? Let me just adjust that a tiny bit. So I'm going to go like this, just a half of a mouth there on one side, and I'm going to not smooth it from the outside, but I am going to smooth it from the inside, and I'm going to push it down at the edges just with a little water to make it look kind of smoothed and part of the, let's pinch that bit off. So you can see what I've done there, and I'm going to smooth that inside down. Because this bit's going to become my lip of my jug. But we also want it to look like some kind of mouth for the fish. You can see there. Then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Pinch it off like that. Go around, pinch it off on that side so that it's just short of this side. Right, just, oops. I'm going to smooth that one down again, same as I did on that side. Might use my little tool. And a little water there. Smooth them down. You can kind of see a little bit of personality coming out now. Right, let's smooth the inside. Right, so I'm just going to push this door to, so my son's in there. So there we have his little kind of lips. Now I'm going to jug that front part. I'm going to cup it with a little water, and I'm just going to smooth and pull it in towards my hand. So that it should direct the liquid. Or you can just cup your finger like that. I'm going to make sure he's more smoothed down on the inside. You don't want that coil to separate because you're not smoothing it on the outside. Just make sure you get a good smooth on it. My nails are all sticking in. Alright. Okay. Now we need to put some eyes on. Just going to give him a little more of a throat. Now the way that I do eyes, you do eyes as you like to do them, but I'm just going to put some little round balls on. I did make a little round, what did I use for that? A little round mark. The end of that, maybe just using that like little loop tool just to round a little bit like that. I'm going to do roughly a fish's eyes in the middle of the head. Well, this one is it about there? About there. I'm sure you'll tell me they're uneven, but you know what, that's all right. So I just roughly marked out a circle, and then I'm just going to get two little balls of clay about the same size. tiny little balls that I'm just rolling. I'm going to dip it. Well, I suppose I could just be proper and do a little scoring. Use like a pin tool. Just going to do a little score. Little score on there. Place the ball on. There. Press it down a little bit. Score a little bit here, score a little bit here. Just a teeny splodge. And press them down a little bit. There. And I've just got a teeny bit of water on my finger. I'm just smoothing it out a tiny bit. Can you see? And then I'm just going to use that tool and put it just a little. Can't even see. There. Just a little wiggle in the middle. I don't think it looks like a fisheye, but that's just how I've done them. And I'm just going to use the pin tool and just go around that little circle that I did. Just around the outside of the eye. By this point I'm so exhausted I really stop caring if it looks like a fish. That's what usually happens with all my makes. If it takes too long, I get to the point where I no longer care. But of course I would wrap it and come back to it, but I'm not going to because we are on camera. And I'm just going to smooth a teeny little bit of that tail up onto the head. Just kind of make it like it's a solid circle round. I'm just smoothing it a teeny touch. Just joining it ever so slightly. That's it. And then kind of outlining it. Just joined it a teeny bit. So now with this tail, I'm going to just do some stripes up it. Probably not too far down, but I'm just going to smooth it a bit more. What will I smooth it with? Actually, find my rib. Help if it was clean. I'm just going to smooth it out a little. I'm not trying to get it smooth, I'm just taking some of the ridges out. Because I don't want the ridges to be all the way down, just at the top. It's better. Just a bit smoother. And then I'm going to do this with, I think with the pin tool, I'm just going to go like this. Can you see? No. Just just tidying that up a teeny bit. See what that, I don't want it too rough there, so I'm just smoothing that in there, and I'm just smooth it down a teeny bit. I could go all the way, but that would kind of make his body a little short, I think. So it's kind of ribbed a little bit at the end, a little bit ridged, which gives a bit of a inferring the tail is longer, but yeah, I think that's okay. Just make sure I've got none on there where I've done that right. That eye's a bit wonky there. Okay, so where are we going next? Let me just put him back on the toilet, because I just need to make sure he's not sinking again, because he does seem to be going over again. So I'm going to put the hairdryer back on. Proper and just make another one that doesn't have a little bit of collapse, but then when you have a little bit of collapse possibly on yours, you're going to go, what did I do wrong? And you can see how you can fix it. So that's fine. I'm going to just do a little bit more. But it's a lot firmer now at the bottom. If you just built it straight up from the bottom and didn't put the fanciest stand on, it wouldn't have that issue, but I quite like the stand kind of look on it. My friend's, Chris, hers was straight at the bottom and it still looked absolutely stunning. Apart from the fact that it stuck on the Kindle shelf. Right, so I'm getting a little bit tidier now. And just put it back on the whirler. think that because it was tipping on this, I think it was helping it to sink a little. Right, I'm just going to firm this bottom up and push it up slightly. Yeah, and I'm going to just try and smooth a teeny bit. She's better, but she just needs a little more drying. I have just let it dry a little bit, and my camera was playing up, so I have just let it have a rest. So this is how they are so far. There they are next to each other. What we're going to do now is we are going to take this central piece out. So I'm hoping that my camera doesn't run out, because I've got it plugged in, but it doesn't seem to be. So let's get on with it. Now I want my fettling knife. Where did I put it? Well, I'll use this one. This one's just a good one. So I'm going to literally just cut out this section here. And I'm just going to tidy it up without trying to make a hole in the pot. So maybe don't use something sharp like I'm using, maybe use something blunter. This video should maybe be how not to make a glugglejug. Just scraping the excess. Not too bad on that side actually. Can't really see in there, but look at the difference that's made. It really depends how you want to build it. Whether you want to build it around the circle like that one is, or whether you want to have it more free form like this. On. Now for scales you can do a few different ways. I use this one, sometimes on an angle. You can do this one. You can do something like that, like on the edge. I think I used that one on the last one actually. Depends what shape scale you want to do. I guess you could probably do like a bit of an angled scale. For ease, I think I'm going to do this one because it's just slightly quicker. Just put my tools away. Ouch, try not to stab yourself. Okay, so what I don't seem to get right is getting them all in the right direction. I start off in one, going round in a direction, and then somehow I end up being in the opposite direction. So not that that matters really at all. So I'm just starting off under the mouth and doing like a now if you've got time and you're going to make a really big effort, you can get them all lined up lovely, all, you know, fish scaly. But yeah, I'm probably not. You just see little marks there. So I just try and go underneath. In between the ones on top. It's not easy to get around where the tail is, so just have to improvise. Kind of like that. Can you see that? I'm just doing it kind of like not the most perfect, and certainly unique in her own right. And this is her sibling here. I don't know if you can see if I just move it back a little bit there, so you can see how different they are. They're approximately the same height. And then let's go from the other side. She's got flippers. I haven't put those on. I might actually just carve in some shape of some flippers on this one. But that's her. So, back to me. Right, so there we go. That is the gluggle jug. tutorial, I shall let you see what it looks like when it comes out of the kiln when it's been fired. But this little one, she's going to be fired this week, so don't forget to check out Kiln Opening 22 because that should be uploaded really soon. So I'll say bye for now, guys. Have a great time exploring with clay and making your fish. If you'd like to come over to Instagram, look me up and send me pictures of your fish. That would be fantastic. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the box below. And thank you as always, guys. Have a great day. Bye.